So I made a previous video on my YouTube and I was borderline not making any sense because I traveled for 15 hours and I didn't get any sleep at all. And then I was just overloading my head with too much information. And the video that I made just was all buzzed around because I was just putting a bunch of puzzles together inside my head, and I was just picking puzzles and playing with them and then talking about different topics and everything you can think of. So sometimes I gotta pay attention at what I'm saying, because in my mind it's like I can categorize hundreds of different type of things that I analyze, and then I want to talk about everything all at the same time, all the things that I learn on the average daily basis and my experiences and stuff like that, and what I fell through. And so my video that I made was just very borderline confusion basically. But what I study here in Brazil so far is that everybody don't have a nationality. They're not really Brazilians, they're just registered with the state. And because they're registered with the state, they have zero constitutional rights under their nationalities and stuff like that. It has everything to do with maritime system and the Romans law and black nobility law, civil law, federal law, and all these other things like that. And I spent a long time researching all this stuff here while not having enough sleep, like 18 hours of traveling with no sleep, and then being crammed up with a bunch of strangers at an airport where everything was like super loud, and it's just like it was just awful. So it's awful to talk about things when you're like over agitated and things like that. So that's what I learned so far in Brazil, is that everybody's registered with the state as a fictional character, and this and this and this and this and this and that. So far today, it was like a very brutal day. I woke up this morning and I went for a walk on the beach, like probably like 5 mile walk. And then I did more walks after that. After that I ate a really good meal, like all organic. Here people eat really healthy. Like I'm talking like very healthy food. And then I went and I did some other stuff in the center in downtown, where they have all the local shops there, where they have an open market, like an open farmers market. It's a little bit Brazilian third world type of market, but they sell really good organic stuff. Like I got a bunch of Amazonian native food here, and they're like super food, like super healthy food, man, like you would not believe. And a lot of people here, they think that like because I don't approach women, they think that I'm gay somehow, because like I just have a really bad history with American chicks, like of abuse, emotional abuse and everything you can think of. So anytime I'm talking or even trying to open up to any women, it's just like it's too much trauma, man. I had a really bad past, like just so I don't know how to approach women with all this trauma and stuff like that. So I'm trying to start therapy here to try to like fix my trauma with women and stuff. And that way I can try to find somebody, a decent person, because right now it's not working out for me, because basically I don't know how to like express myself or talk to a girl, because I don't know what their intentions are. I always feel like Like every time I'm around a woman who finds interest in me, the only thing I'm thinking on the back of my head is just like, oh, this woman is gonna like sabotage me. Watch, like her boyfriend is gonna come up next to her, and he's just gonna give her a kiss, and then leave me like hopeless or hopeful, because that happened a lot in the U.S. with all the sponsors, sabotage that they did in the U.S. with me. So anytime I see a woman with a guy, I instantly cut it off. Like for example, I went to the mall here, to the shopping mall they have here, because it's like very popular here still. And I saw all these good-looking girls, and then they have like guy friends sometimes there, and then I just instantly shut it off, because I went through a lot of emotional stress and trauma, man. So I gotta like find therapy and try to basically fix my psychological way of thinking here. And I did have some people that today was pretty cool. Some guy like was walking towards me, and he said like, oh, we all love you, like everybody here loves you. And then this lady was walking behind me, and she like touched me, and she thought I was like a saint. And she was just like, so I don't know, man. I just been like, my eyes are like that because of the stress. My body, it's like I'm slowly healing from all the stress in the US into Brazil here. So like I'm slowly healing the emotional and psychological differences and stress. So that's why I have to find like somebody to talk to, because I'm just not feeling right. The reason why I didn't want to get therapy in the US, it was because they can use that against me in the court of law. And anything and everything I say to them can be used against me. So because of that, I already do that here inside Brazil, because that way I can fix myself psychologically instead of being seen as a weak person giving out my criminalities away. It's not even criminality. It's just in the US, things are just so corrupted that even when you talk to a therapist, they can use that against you. And you never know who is that person you're talking to. So I don't even trust therapies in the US, because at one time I was trying to get some kind of psychological help, and they prescribed me a bunch of neurological drugs that cause you to become like a zombie, like Prozac and all this crap. And I never took Prozac, but I never took any of those prescriptions. I only took one, and the side effects was so horrible that I just, oh God, it was terrible. So therapists in the US is just, don't do it. Like, you have all the energy in the world to do things, but you just don't have a brain at all to think about anything. You're just constantly doing stuff, like your extra attention span is everywhere. So that's what I'm trying to do here in Brazil. It's just really unfortunate that people are treating me like, oh, this guy must be a homosexual, because he's not catcalling women, or he's not paying attention to how women are approaching him. Or like this one time, this girl like sat really next to me, facing me, and I didn't know how to react. I thought, like, because of so much trauma and things like that, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to say anything. I just didn't know anything, like. So So and then people they criticize you here. They criticize you for not taking actions. But like one time, I almost got arrested in the U.S. for basically I went to a mall in the U.S. and I was talking to like random girls, and the police and the mall manager showed up and banned us from the they banned us from ever going to the mall. Me and my black friend that I had at the time, like a really good black dude. Um, I like the only friends I ever had in the U.S. was black dudes, basically, really cool dudes that were either, you know, smoking weed and doing all sorts of stuff. I'm not into smoking marijuana and all that, but I met a lot of interesting people in the U.S., mostly blacks. Never really had any white friends, honestly, but it's just it's really unfortunate the way people here they think like it's because like the Amazon, like my dad, he did a few operations in the Amazon, and the culture here is that if you're not like a warrior, if you're not like a good like provider or a strong, you know, capable person that is taking what you want, then you're not like a man, like and stuff like that. Like if I were to do that in the US, I'll be in jail for sexual harassment like the next day. So so approaching women here, there's a change of culture that I have to adapt to, and I'm scared of adapting to how they do things here. So um like women here, they're very visual about approaching you. Like they're very how do you say it? Like in the U.S., usually women in the U.S. are really stuck up to themselves. Like they do all this gay shit, or they're just really stuck up to themselves. They have to like really go out there to find somebody decent. But here, the girls are like very like open about like, hey, like I want you, like, but you have to say something to me, like, and they're like on your face, like you just like oh. So um so I'm still trying to adapt to culture change, because I'm not like a womanizer. I'm not a person who chases women around and stuff and catcall them. And like I saw guys in the streets here, all these young girls, like from what, like 14 to 17. These girls are just walking by, and everybody on the street was just staring at them, like woo, like oh my gosh, those girls are so hot. And I was just like, wait, what? Um, what? Like, so so I don't know, man. It's just I have to get used to just like I went to the mall yesterday when I arrived here, like really stressed out from the not having enough sleep, and this girl was like right next to me on her phone, like really, really, really getting really close to me. Like she wanted my attention, like she wanted me to say something to her, but like I just have so much trauma from getting banned from the mall just for talking to women that I just I just don't do it. So I have to do some kind of, I don't know, I have to talk to somebody here, like a therapist, to just um technically just like figure out what's normal, what's not normal, and how to find like a decent person and things like that. So uh last time I was here, I found somebody that was very decent, a good woman, a good hardworking woman, but I didn't stay here at all. So, and she was like the most beautiful girl ever. Like, and she didn't want. She was very very poor, living in a very horrible conditions. And I offered her like, hey, would you like to come to the U.S. with me? And she panicked. She's just like, no, like I'd rather be poor, I'd rather be homeless than to be in the U.S. And I was just like, damn, like they don't like gringos at all here, like. And then I did saw some Europeans that by the beach there, they're trying to change the culture right now. They're putting boards up everywhere, advertising boards with white women and ginger hair and stuff like that on boards everywhere. And I'm scared that people are gonna be idolizing girls with blue eyes and white skin, because that's what people did in the U.S. and it completely destroyed the culture, because men, they don't think right when it comes to women. And once that culture changed, then the whole society is gonna fall, and it's gonna happen. The same thing that happened in the U.S. is gonna happen here. If these white Europeans, if they keep coming here and idolizing themselves over the Brazilians, because Brazilian women are much more. I think Brazilian women are more beautiful than Americans, and so every time I see these boards here, white Europeans everywhere. Like, I don't want these people here. Like, I don't want these people to idolize themselves because they're white or they're gringos or if they're Europeans and stuff like that. Like, stay away, take your image and shove it up your ass. Like, I don't want these billboards anywhere near my face anymore, because what happened in my town in Florida where a bunch of white people idolize one another is absolute bullshit. Because people from other cultures, like, we don't idolize white people as saviors, as warriors, as some other shit. We see them as like colonists, slave owners and shit like that. So it's really traumatizing to see this here. So it's pretty sad that people here think that just because I'm not approaching women that I could be gay or homosexuals and stuff like that. Like, I'm not gay, I'm not a homosexual. I just have a lot of trauma. Like, I've been around racist people my entire life as a non-white person, as a non-European person. So, like, I've been traumatized not by just men, just not having any friends and people criticizing me. Sorry. I'm right next to a military airport here, and so there's always military aircrafts flying every now and then. But I was not just traumatized by like white dudes, because I couldn't make any friends with them, but I was also traumatized by the women who are 10 times worse than guys in the US. So, like, I don't want that culture here in Brazil, this hierarchy system of colonists idolizing themselves as gods over people just because they're white or they have like blue eyes and shit like that. So this is really bad. I don't want these people to go through the same shit that I went to. Like, the image of Brazilians shouldn't be an European. Like, the image of Brazilians should not be Europeans. Should not be Europeans at all. Like, the image of Brazilians should not be Europeans. They should take all these boards away. Like, I wish I could contact the governors right now and write him a letter. Like, the image of Brazil should not be Europeans. Take all these boards away. Like, put, a black chick on there. Put a mixed race person there. But get rid of these pieces of shit. I don't want people to get used to idolizing white women. There's nothing special about white people at all. Nothing. Like, I lived around a bunch of hyenas my whole life, and I didn't learn a single fucking thing around these people. So I don't want these people here in Brazil to go through the same shit that I went through. So even though we're still living under colonist rules by the world government, still, like, I don't want these people to be slowly docile to white European doctrines of self idolizing just because they're white or their women is blue with and white with their hair and stuff like that. Like, I don't want these people, Brazilian people, to be segregated just like it happened in my town in Florida. Like, I really want to get in touch with somebody here and prohibit the self-idealization of white Europeans in for public display. That's what I have to say, man. There's another military aircraft going through here. Wow. But this thing is like 24 hours a day. They go to the Amazon. They pass through here. Like right next to me, there's a huge military housing here. There's the Air Force there. There's the general's housing over there. There's the military bases over there, and the Air Force is right there. Like, everything is like super close to everything here. So if I scream something like "help," the whole military is just gonna knock on my door. No, but I'm just kidding. But but yeah, it's pretty cool that I'm not being followed here, and people actually say that they love me. So that's a good sign, you know, from all the psychological torture by passive aggressive attack by Europeans and white racist people in my town. And but the first thing that I got here in this military installation here was a person showed up with an Israeli flag on the back of his car, and he was just showing off to me, and then he just disappeared. I never saw him ever again. And I was like, what do that have anything to do with anything, you know? Like, Israelis. Why the hell would a bunch of Israelis be here in the military installation? So it's weird, man. But it's just really unfortunate that I have to go through the psychological evaluation just to talk to women, because I've been traumatized my whole life in the US. So the worst part is that people think that there's something wrong with me and that I could be a homosexual or gay because I'm not catcalling or like a dog, you know, talking to women like, oh my gosh, vagina, oh my gosh, boobs. Like I don't have the mindset of, I don't know, idolizing women. I just, every time I see a good looking woman, I'm just like, you know, I've been with so many women, not so many, like I've never been with a lot of women, but honestly, like vagina is like all the same, man. Like, there's nothing special about. Yeah, there's some good looking women, there's some fat women, but like, it's all the same, you know? And people watch too much porn and they start idolizing the good looking little Barbie dolls doing all sorts of crazy shit, and I'm just like, I'm not that person, you know? Like, so I did saw a bunch of tall women, like those Amazonian girls. Like, I saw this woman, man, at the airport. She's like really tall, like she had this tan on her, like almost reddish, like a native, really big, tall women, where her boobs were just like, I was just like, damn, like this girl can rip me in half, literally. Big old girl, like she sat next to her friends, like big old girl, man, like beautiful, thin and everything, and I was just like, holy shit, dude, this girl can like literally rip me in half, bro. Like, and then I met some white girls as well, like really good looking white Brazilian girls, like really tall, really tall white girls here, and I was just like, and this girl really wanted my attention, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to like this isn't. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Like, so it's really unfortunate, man. So that's what I have to say on my update here in Brazil. I'm trying to overcome my trauma. So from psychological torture in the U.S. into America, into Brazil, and then get therapy and learn to love myself more. Like hit the gym. Like today, I went to the gym. I have a professional person who's helping me train my body so that I'm taking care of myself first before I do anything stupid. So my first stage is gonna be loving myself here. It's gonna be getting therapy for psychological torture, and then hopefully I can rent an apartment here. And there's next to this military installation here, there's universities next to here, but it's spring break here for them. Maybe I can find somebody who is like hardworking and wants to achieve something better in life that I can work with, you know, like a good partner where we can build like a foundation together and things like that. So that would be ideal, honestly, for me. And that's what I was looking for here in Brazil and Recife, and I had got here. So that's the little car here that I drive around. This car is really cool. Check this out. Check this out. It's like one of those. It's like one of those military CIA cars, really good looking. And basically, with those badges, I can get inside everything I want. It's really cool. I can go in this place here, and it's pretty cool. But it's nothing special. I just really like this because it looks like one of those the presidential escort cars and stuff like that that walks around with a bunch of bodyguards and stuff like that. It's really cool. Like people don't drive these cars around, like, so it's just cool, man. Pretty cool. And I have it's really safe here, like very, very safe. So that's what I have to say. My update here in Brazil, and it's pretty decent so far. So I'm liking it. I just gotta adapt to not looking like a homosexual by not approaching women, basically, which is pretty funny.